Assalamu alaikum and hello viewers, researcher. Today I am with you with another new video. As you can see with the title, Critical Thinking in Research. This is not only important for research, I think it is important for every sphere of our life as a researcher, as a student, as a parent. So this is one of the highly important skills, attributes needed for the 21st century. So based on my 25 years of experience, I strongly feel that young researchers, early career researchers sometimes do their research without proper thinking, without deep thinking. So that's why I was thinking to come out with this new videos on critical thinking in research. Let me define what is critical thinking. Before doing this, basically, as you can see, I have long 25 years of experience. I have gone through many evaluation process. I have supervised many students. I also had problem in critical thinking. So I have some experience. At the same time, I also have gone through some literature studies such as LinkedIn, YouTube. I also searched based on my overall experience. I have come out with this definition. So what is actually the meaning of critical thinking? Let's try to understand this. This basically will help us to think, to implement this critical thinking in every spheres of our life. So basically it is in a simple way, deeper level of thinking. I hope everybody will be you will agree with that. This is basically the deeper understanding, but how to address, how to ask that types of question to go into deeper level of every aspects of our life is basically the purpose of this video. Sometimes we also think in a very shallow level without deep thinking. We only think at the surface. So this is basically is not the critical thinking. Another way also can be defined as rational thinking. Whatever we are doing, we need to provide, we need to think that does it justify why I need to do these things? Is it needed? Is it really important to do these things? So that is basically called the rational thinking, thinking in a justified way. I really need to do these things. So that is called the rational thinking. That is another way of defining critical thinking. Thinking deeply to understand, identify root causes and reasons. So if we think at the surface level, if we think at the shallow level, actually we cannot go into the root causes and reasons. So actually we need to know to solve any problem, to understand something, actually we need to go into the deep causes, root causes, and what are actually the main reasons. These basically will help us to understand the meaning of critical thinking. So based on my search, my experience, and also I explored number of videos in LinkedIn Learning. So what I understand is basically critical thinking is asking a question many times, one after another. This is what mentioned in the literature that some companies, some business entity actually to solve their problem, ask question 5 times. It may not be needed to get your answer 5 times, but this is an example. Maybe you will get your answer by asking questions 3 times. So one after another. Why? You ask one question and you got the answer, and then you have to ask again, why I'm doing this? Why it's happening? How it is happening? Okay, so that is basically the understanding of critical thinking is basically asking before doing anything, asking questions, rational way, innovative way, again and again. Okay, as many as possible to know the root causes to solve your problem. So that's why the basic point is that asking question many times. Okay, such as the question why, what, how. Okay, these are the basic questions, asking many times to understand the main or root causes. Again, question also should be relevant to the subject matter. So if irrelevant questions are asked, I think that also will not be critical critical thinking, critical question. So this critical thinking, as I mentioned, it is not only important for research purpose, I think it is for every spheres of our lives. So for example, I am a researcher. The intention is also for the research purpose. So you have to think what is your subject matter. If it is research, you have to ask question relevant to the research. If it is your business, you are running a business and you are facing some problem, or you want to establish a business, so you have to ask question relevant to the business. So that's why before asking question, you also need to learn, you also need to do your homework to understand that thing. So asking question also sometimes is not relevant, is not critical, is not relevant, is not rational. So that's why the learning, the homework is also very important before asking the question, before being critical. Okay, so it also can be maybe in your health problem. So you want to see a doctor, why this doctor, not why the other doctor. Before going to see the doctor, have you done your homework as well? Okay, for example, sometimes I face my health problem. So when I see doctor, after seeing the doctor, I also check the medical report. What does it mean? What does the other people, other doctors mention in the YouTube, in some others? So by doing this also, I try to understand the meaning of that. Actually, the level of, let's say, the cholesterol level, uric acid level. This basically will help me to understand more. This is again the critical thinking. Okay, I am not a doctor, but by studying this, by asking question, by knowing this into deeper, actually it will solve my problem actually more deeper and more deeper way. Actually, this also will help me to solve the problem, my health problem, for example. This is an example of critical thinking I have taken from LinkedIn learning courses. As you know, before preparing any videos, I also do my homework. I also think critically. I utilize my experiences. As you know, LinkedIn Learning is one of the professional learning courses. So our Sano University subscribe this LinkedIn Learning courses for our knowledge improvement, for our skills improvement, for critical thinking, for each and every lecturer, academician, and now they introduce for our students also. So this is actually the good thing from where also I learned how to understand this critical thinking. I also have gone through a number of LinkedIn learning courses. So this is one of the examples. As you can see here, specifically mentioned, ask questions 5 times. That is 5 whys. Okay, so this basically will help you to understand your root causes. So this is again how to understand, how to improve your knowledge. So this is an example of learning how to learn also critical thinking in other literature sources. So this is where I also have learned. As you can see, a lot of courses are there. This is just one example. There are a number of courses by which actually we can improve our critical thinking. We also need to understand, we need to learn as well to understand this critical thinking, to implement this critical thinking. It's not an easy thing. It's not just a simple thing. So now critical thinking is very important for this 21st century. As I mentioned, based on my 25 years of experience, particularly researcher people, actually most of them basically has serious problem in critical thinking, critical analysis. So many times, as I also shared in my social media, researchers, students, even sometimes highly experienced people also communicate with me. I feel that those are irrelevant, those are not rational, those are not relevant with me. Just simply, the knocking the door, just simply asking me the question without knowing my background, without knowing actually each and every detail. So that's how I should say that researcher, even experienced researcher, also cannot communicate properly, cannot think also critically. So that's why I would say this is a serious problem. This is seriously lacking in most of the people. So that's why I feel if I prepare a video at least up to certain level, this may help young researcher, early career researcher, even experienced researcher also. And also, it is not only this critical thinking is not only for researcher, as I mentioned at the first slide. This is basically important for every sphere of our life. It is important everywhere. As a parents, to take care of our children, our relatives, teachers, it is at primary, secondary, higher studies, everywhere this is needed. So if, for example, a teacher, so he or she also has to think, is this learning approach appropriate? Is this effective? Can students learn from my teaching method? Okay, so are the materials relevant? Is this effective approach? So if we ask actually the critical question, this certainly will help the teachers also to improve their teaching method, learning method. Certainly the students will be much more benefited rather than just simply asking the question, just simply doing for the sake of doing without critically thinking. Actually, it may not be the effective learning, effective teaching. As a result, one cannot be an effective teacher, outstanding teacher, okay, cannot serve the society appropriately. Similarly, the students, researchers, so our daily life, everyday work, the family matter, we also work, we also do business. Okay, so everywhere this critical thinking is important. So if we think critically, if we ask question, if we ask this rational reasons, certainly we can do our business better way, we can be a better parents, we can be a better teacher, we can be a better researcher. So basically, this critical thinking is important both at work and at home. So as you can see, I have taken this critical thinking also from one of the literature. Actually, when we do our analysis, our results, so again, critical analysis, critical thinking, rational thinking is very, very important. We also communicate. So during the communication, sometimes without thinking, we just shoot an email, we just send a message. Actually, it does not reflect the content. It does not reflect the meaning. It is actually not relevant. As a result, I think it is not critical and you will not be able to get your job done. Okay, so it is also important at creativity in problem solving. And so in each and every spheres of our life, actually, this critical thinking is important. As you can see, this is in analysis, in communication, in creativity, that is in the research. Actually, we need the strong novelty, we need the wow factor, we need something new, we need innovation, we need something different. So again, how it can be different, why it is different, what has been done someone else, so how I can do it different way, how I can make it cheaper, faster, efficient way, low cost, efficient way, efficiency can be improved. So again, all these are very much needed in the creativity in the research areas. Okay, so since my focus is on the importance of critical thinking in research, so I will be focusing more at research. So as you can see, particularly this critical thinking will help to improve writing skill, particularly when researcher is writing a high quality journal paper. So if you don't have critical thinking, actually it will be very hard for you also to publish in high quality journal. So it is important in writing high quality journal paper. It is important for you writing thesis, PhD thesis, master's thesis, undergraduate thesis. We are also writing research grant proposal, thesis proposal, candidature defense. So each and every aspect of research, basically we need to implement this critical thinking. We need to understand this critical thinking. We need to ask in a critical manner, and then we address and we got the answer. That basically will make our work very, very strong, very high level with both depth and breadth, and particularly with high level of innovation, creativity. We also write research reports, assignment, in industry, R&D reports, innovation, for example, in filing patent, in addressing TRL level, technology readiness level, higher level. Again, we need to really critically think. We need to ask questions again and again. So as you can see, as a summary, actually it is important in every sphere of our life, as a parents, as a teacher, as a student, researcher, as a businessman. So both at home and work, we need this critical thinking skill. So I hope this will be useful for many other people, and you really need to do some additional homework in relation with your problem, so that it can be critical thinking and you can solve your problem to solve your problem basically. Now, this is basically the main focus. What are the critical thinking in research? How we can define? So as you know, I have uploaded many videos in my YouTube channel on research. So let's talk about a scientific paper. In a scientific paper, what are the essential elements? So we know a research paper has one of the important elements is the title. Then next part is an abstract. There is also introduction, methodology, result and discussion, conclusions, references. So these are basically the most important, essential, basic elements of a research paper. So if you amplify, then it will be for thesis. So if we understand critical thinking, if we can address in critical thinking in research paper, certainly I think you can implement this critical thinking in each and every aspects of our research. So as I mentioned, based on my SARS, my experience and LinkedIn courses, so critical thinking is asking actually the rational question many times. Okay, so it can be why, it can be what, it can be how, why I'm doing this, how it is different, can I make my method cheaper, can these materials be developed as 20% lesser cost, can I make the efficiency of my research outcome 25% better. Okay, so basically asking questions again and again. So why, what, and how in relation with your research matter. Now let me start with title. Okay, so I'm giving specific example because my focus is on research. So in the first element is the title. So how title can be made strong, attractive by making this critical question, critical thinking. Okay, so normally in the title, so is the title attractive? So if we ask that question, this will give an answer whether this really will be attractive or not. You really need to think about the title. Once you ask a question, is it attractive? Certainly you will get an answer. Yes, it looks. Yes, it is not. It looks, it is not attractive. So how to make it attractive? So again, you need to do some homework. You need to do check some other people's title. You need to check probably how to write attractive title. As you can find probably in my YouTube channel, I have also given each and every details how to write attractive title, appealing title, what are the actually necessary ingredients, elements. You can explore from others research. You can find few more relevant papers from Science, Natures, maybe some experienced researcher who are highly prolific researcher, how they have written their title. So have a look. Okay, as a result, by doing some work, by asking some critical question, basically will help you to address that critical elements in your title. Okay, so then also it is very important whether title reflects the content. So if you ask question, does it reflect the contents of the paper? Again, this will give you, probably you know the whole content, so you can identify through keywords. So after analyzing, you found that you have addressed 4 keywords and another keyword is missing. So again, that by asking that question, actually, you will have some answer. You need to think critically. You need to get the answer for that question, you know, by thinking critically, by asking critically, and that basically will solve your problem in addressing the whether the title is really critically thought. Is it really attractive? Does it contain the necessary contents of the whole paper? Maybe you are going again and again the whole paper, whole content by asking that question. Okay, let me go through the again paper, whole paper. Okay, all the content, all the results, all the method. Then maybe you will probably find that some elements are missing. Okay, this will help you. So is it too long? Again, lengthy paper, too long content actually is distracted. So by asking, actually, you can see, you know, that I also have written how to write a title in a shorter, precise way. So it should be, you know, short, brief, not too much, too long. You know, it should not be 4 or 5 sentences. So if there are 4 or 5 sentences, probably you will have answered that it is already too long. Okay, so by asking that question, you can reduce that length. Does it contain mathematical jargon? So if there are mathematical jargon, chemical formulas, those which actually will distract the potential readers, by asking that question, actually you'll see if there is no mathematical jargon, so you got the answer. If there are mathematical jargon, I think you need to eliminate this. So these are the questions, some of the questions, maybe some more questions you can ask, and by asking that question, actually by rather than asking this question, rather than thinking about the title, if you just simply write a title, I think certainly your title will not be strong, will not be critical. Then next part is the abstract. This is another elements. Again, if you make some critical questions, why, what, how, in different ways, as I have highlighted, certainly it will make your abstract also better, stronger. Okay. So does it contain all necessary elements? So as you know, abstract contains background information, some sentences or few sentences on objectives, methods, result discussion. So are all the necessary elements available? So you can see you have 4 elements and one of the elements are missing. Again, when you ask this question, probably you can explore my video. What are the necessary elements? By asking that question, actually, you can identify what are the missing elements. So one element, let's say, is missing. So you can bring it there. You can address it there. So by asking question, actually, you are addressing that critical elements in your abstract. Is it balanced and structured? Maybe some content is too much, some content is too less. So by asking that question, actually, you can see, let's say the result section, you put 4 or 5 sentences. So other elements maybe half sentences. So this basically will help you by asking that question, actually will help you to make it balanced and structured. Again, is it too long? Again, you see the abstract should be short, precise, concise. So if you have 2 pages, so certainly I think it is too long. So in that case, by asking that question, you can minimize, you can remove some of the unnecessary elements. Again, by asking question, actually, you are helping yourself to make it precise, concise, short, brief, attractive, appealing, balanced, and so on. Does it reflect the contents of the paper? Again, like title, all the necessary contents, elements are there. Again, you can explore the whole paper. You can have a look at the paper again, and probably you can identify some of the important elements. Some of the things are not there. It's not reflecting, somehow it's not reflecting the overall content. Does it contain emotive terms such as significant, huge? Okay, so if you have all those things, I think you need to provide scientific values, numbers, figures. So by asking that question, basically you can identify. Okay, does it contain major findings? As you know, the abstract should actually, the one of the important element is findings, concrete results actually should be here. So by asking that question, if results are not there, may not be strong, may not be enough, actually it will help you to make your major findings section of your abstract better, stronger, actually, by asking these questions, critical questions in your abstract. Similarly, second part is actually the introduction part in your paper. So here also you need to ask some critical question. Does it contain a background, motivation, aim, purpose? As you know, introduction is basically aim, purpose, motivation. So is there the content that relevant with the background information, motivational, aim, purpose? By asking that question, actually you can identify. Okay, introduction also should contain the objectives. So sorry, there's a spelling mistake. Does it contain smart objectives and scope? What is the novelty of the work? How strong is the novelty? Again, about the novelty, you can ask so many questions, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Actually, this is actually called critical reasoning phenomena, critical thinking, as one of the Japanese automaker actually in their industry actually asking question 5 times, one after another subsequently. For example, what is the novelty of the work? Okay, you have the novelty of the work. Then you can ask, is it strong? Is it clear? Is it enough? Is it convincing? How is different from other published paper? So by asking question actually 5 times, you are going into deeper and deeper. That is actually the scientific reasoning. That is actually the strong creativity, innovation. Just by asking 1 question, maybe it is surface, it is shallow. So that's why I think this asking question many times, 4 or 5 times, or maybe more, actually will identify the root cause and it will enter into the deeper and deeper. Okay, so that's basically the critical thinking, critical reasoning, critical analysis. So critical thinking in introduction, critical thinking in other parts of your content. Does it contain latest relevant references? So introduction should contain some latest and relevant references. By asking this question again, by asking this question, it's actually you need to relook, recheck. You check the references. Then maybe you found that most of the references are old and some of the references are not relevant. Okay, so asking question, and also at the same time, you need to check, recheck. By doing that, actually, you are doing additional things, and that basically will motivate you, will help you to identify some of the lacking, some of the gaps, which are in relation with the introduction part. Then is the critical review of literature. As you know, the literature can be in many parts of the paper, and it can be useful for writing a review paper. It is also used for thesis, and this is also part of your introduction and many other parts of your paper. So this critical review of literature is also very, very important for our PhD thesis, for our project proposal in many aspects, which I also have shared in my social media, and also I have prepared one video on writing how to write a critical review of how to write critical review paper. You can explore more in my YouTube channel on that. So in relation with the critical review of literature, is it new or is it different from published review papers? So these are basically the question relevant with the literature review. Why you are doing literature review? Because to critically review, meaning that your analysis also should be new. It also should be different. So by asking this question, actually, you are trying to pose yourself that necessary things, new things are there or not. Does literature contain controversial analysis? As you know, you are analyzing others' results, other papers. So there may be sometimes there are controversial issues, increasing, decreasing, all those things. These are called the controversial things. And this is also one of the critical elements of literature or critical review of literature. So have you included all those things? By asking that question, actually you are helping yourself. So if that critical review of literature in the form of controversial analysis is missing, now you need to do that. You need to include that. And before that also, you need to understand what are the controversies. So one paper is saying increasing, another paper is decreasing. You know, these are some controversial things happen. So why happening? So all those discussion in the short paragraph or in the short figures, tables, you can bring it here, and then your this controversial analysis has been addressed. Does literature contain inconclusive or too limited contents? So this is again one sort of question you can ask. Has it included interpretation of design and method? So design and method part of many papers you studied, and have you analyzed, have you discussed critically, have you interpreted them critically? Are those content available in your critical review of literature or not? If it is not available, you need to understand, you need to address this in your critical review of literature to address this in your literature review part. Is there any argument? So why increasing, decreasing? Okay, you make your own argument, maybe this way, maybe that way. Is that element available in your literature part or not? By asking that question, again, you are helping yourself, you are solving your, and most importantly, also critical review of literature is not only positive finding, is not only good findings. So what are the positive things? What are the strengths at the same times? Have you included the weaknesses? What are the limitations? What are the challenges? What are the negative things? So in both strength and weaknesses are there or not, to ask yourself. If these things are not provided there, I think by asking that question, actually, you can bring all those additional things by checking it again. Then next part is the methodology. Again, in the methodology, whether you have critically thought or not. So as you know, one of the important elements is the flow of materials, coherency, organization. So you can ask yourself, is my paper has proper flow of materials? Does it contain proper flow of materials? Is the organization appropriate? Okay. Is it coherent? Is it well organized? If not, I think then we need to study. You need to understand some of the videos in LinkedIn, in YouTube channel, and maybe you can attend some other courses. You can discuss with your supervisor. You can discuss with other team members. Then probably it will help you to address this flow of materials. So as you can see, how to address the flow of materials, I have addressed in some of my videos in my YouTube channel. Is the method stronger, sound? So this is again the questions asked by examiners, panel members, reviewers when we write our methodology part. So this actually will help you to again check, analyze whether my methodology is stronger enough. Again, you need to study probably some relevant literature, methodology part of literature, and then you see how they have designed, what they have done. This will help you to address the question of whether this is the method is strong or sound. Does it contain design of experiment? Again, you need the input variables, output variables, dependent variables, independent variables. Again, by asking this question, again, you need to go through, you need to study again, you need to discuss with supervisor, you need to discuss with other team members. And this basically will help you probably to address the question of all the design parameters are there or not. So again, methodology can be new. Methodology by asking question again, this also can be a novelty in your method. Is the method new? Is the method better? This again, if you have mentioned that you have novelty in the methodology by asking that question, actually, you are also addressing the novelty of your introduction part in the methodology part because your method is novel. So you highlight that this is the novel part. This is the first time. This is the something new method we have developed to produce the new results. Does it reflect the contents? Again, you have the objectives, you have the necessary content. So you need to check it again to reflect the content. So I think that content is everywhere in the title, in the introduction, in the methodology, in the result discussion. Actually, every section, actually, this is one of the important questions you need to ask every section of your paper. Again, methodology should be aligned with the objectives. So you ask question, is it aligned with the objectives? So now you have the objectives, as you can see. So is the methodology developed according to all the objectives? Is there any method part is missing to address the objective number 1, 2, or 3? Is the methodology is enough, strong? All the necessary equipments are there or not? Their specifications are provided or not? Accuracies are provided or not? So ask as many questions as possible to get the answer to make it critical design of your experiment, critical design of your method. Does it contain statistical analysis? Again, to check the robustness, strength of the results. Actually, these are some of the technique and also the optimization. So have you included any optimization? For example, response surface methodology, multi-objective optimization, any other computational tools, molecular dynamic simulations, for example, have you included any optimization tools to get the optimum results and so on. Then is the last part of a paper, actually the result, actually it should be critical analysis, critical interpretation, critical reasoning phenomena. This is very important. So, you know, that sometimes researchers are without thinking, they just simply present their results, data without thinking, actually, without critical reasoning phenomena. Actually, it will be very hard to publish in a high quality journal. And also it will be a lot of questions by the examiners, panel members during your thesis, viva, presentation, and so on. So this basically will help you to write a very strong result and discussion. So here again, what types of question can be asked? What types of critical question can be asked here? Does it contain the reasoning phenomena? So first question you should ask, as you know, it is very important, the reasoning phenomena is there or not. Does it contain? By asking that question, actually, you can ask how much is the level? Yes, there are, but is it shallow? Is it deeper? Is it enough? Okay, am I compared? Has it been validated? Okay, why results are fluctuating, why the results are increasing, decreasing. Is the results only I have presented there just graphs and tables? Is there any reasoning phenomena? Why they are increasing? What are the mechanism behind? What are the rationale behind? What are the justification? So ask as many questions as possible as it is highlighted here. So during the introduction part also, you have highlighted the originality. So ask question. Is there originality has been highlighted here in the form of results? So I mentioned that my method will be cheaper. So have I concluded here? Have I put the results that it is cheaper? Have I calculated? Have we calculated the efficiency compared to the literature? Have we validated our results? Have we compared with the others' results? These are by making this question, actually, you are making your results discussion part very, very critical. And again, you are addressing critical thinking by asking these types of critical question. Does it contain error or statistical analysis of the results? This will make your results robust, strong. So if you ask question, probably this will give an answer that whether that statistical analysis is there or not. Is it strong? Is it enough? Is it sufficient? Is there mathematical formulations provided? Okay, is it, have I compared with the literatures? Is there any mechanism? As you know, sometimes there are improvement, there are percentage improvement, there are reductions. So what is the mechanism behind? For example, thermal conductivity improvement. For example, specific heat capacity improvement. What are the mechanism behind this? Study some literature, what they have done. Maybe certain characterization images, SEM image, TEM image. You see the structure, you see the linkage, you see the network. Okay, so by asking that question, is the mechanism there? Have we given? Is there any contradictory statement? Sometimes in some graph you are saying increasing, in some other graph you are saying decreasing. By asking that question, actually you need to go and check whether I have made any contradictory statement. Is there redundancy? Have I provided same data both in tables and figures? This is called the redundancy. So is there redundant data? Is there redundant tables? Is there redundant analysis? Is there repeated things in my resultant discussion? Is there repeated things in other parts of my paper? Okay, does it contain the methodology? Yes, you know the result should not contain methodology. You ask that question. Is there any methodology part I put in my resultant discussion? You check it again. If there are method, that is addressing the question of how, is there such content available in my resultant discussion section? After checking, basically you will find it, you will get your answer. So this will help you to address the critical reasoning phenomena, critical questions, critical answer, critical analysis of your results. Critical thinking in references. So again, here also you can ask, are the references enough? Are they latest relevant? Are they properly cited? As you know, you need to go through again. By asking that question, basically, you need to check it again. Probably you also can give it to your friends. Hello, friends. Can you check the whole content of the references to address these things? Okay, so again, by asking this question, actually, you are alerting yourself. You are doing additional homework. You are getting more careful. You are going into deeper. That basically will help you to identify some of the weaknesses. For example, you have checked the references and sometimes you saw that page numbers are not there, volumes numbers are not there. Maybe some of the contents are upper cases, and maybe you saw that some references are really not relevant. Some references probably say, oh, these references are too old. This will not be acceptable. This is really not good. Okay, these are all contained the book chapters. Where are the peer review related references? Okay, basically by asking that question, you are going into deeper and deeper. You are identifying some of the lacking deficiencies, challenges, problems. Okay, as a result, it will make your references stronger, better. Okay, all the questions are answered. Reviewer will be convinced, examiner will be convinced. Okay, because after checking, if they found that these are not addressed, certainly you have not asked your critical question in addressing the references. So critical thinking is very important in communication. As you know, I time to time share in LinkedIn, in social media. Sometimes researchers communicate with other people, other researchers actually without doing homework, without thinking, so that's why you see that before doing anything, if you ask yourself, if you address this critical thinking in your communication, certainly it will be better, it will be convincing, maybe your job can be done. That's why sometimes probably without critical thinking, you just send an email, okay, it is not attractive, it is not appealing, it does not reflect content, it does not make meaning, maybe just simply copy and paste. And as a result, the person to whom you are communicating, they will feel reluctant. And this guy is lazy because he just copy and paste. He does not know how to write, and then how can I see? Okay, so that's why I think before doing anything, actually that doing your own homework is very, very important. Okay, so let's say you are trying to communicate a professor to start your PhD. So you need to do homework about the professor. Is that professor is relevant with your research area? Does he has necessary resources, expertise? Has he published relevant papers? Do the homework. What is his total citation impact? What is his H index? What is his Google Scholar profile? What are the how many students he has supervised? Where he published? So all this necessary actually homework by doing actually You are knowing the professor, and then actually you can write a very good paragraph, a good email, because you know him. Once you know him and you are giving a reflection that you have studied his profile, you have studied his paper, you have studied his teamwork, then professor certainly will feel that, oh, this guy is very, dynamic, he's very efficient, he has done the homework. Okay, he also has written a very impressive proposal. Okay, let me reply, because there is a good hope. Okay, these are the ways. So basically you need to do the homework about the professor, about the research topics, and simply don't copy and paste the same email. You make a template with the same content, you are sending to each and every one. Sometimes professor's name is just copy and paste. So this is what I have observed in many cases. Some of the researchers just simply send the email, I'm Saidur Rahman. So they will send it is, hello Ahmad, hello Muhammad. You see, so just by seeing that content, actually the supervisor, professor actually will not read your email. So, okay, you are wasting your time, you are killing yourself, so these are unnecessary things happen. This is based on my own experience. So when people communicate, researchers communicate, even sometimes associate professor, lecturer, they communicate in this way, just simply copy and paste. These are wrong approach. So you are trying to convince someone, so you really need to do homework. You need to customize your thing, not same email to each and everyone. Okay, so in my social media, I just simply don't copy and paste from my every content. I try to customize, try to make it different, content wise in different way. Okay, so that actually that will reflect your seriousness. I mean, these are the ways to convince the people. Okay, so please don't copy and paste the same email. Okay, this is again very poor communication. Okay, so many are basically doing these things, and as a result, actually you will not get response, you will not get your job done. Okay, so this is my humble request. Please improve. That is actually the purpose of being here in front of you. Okay, to help you, to train you, so that you can successfully get your PhD. You can successfully get a response from a supervisor. You can successfully get a scholarship, so on. Okay, so customize your email. Spend some time. Don't be lazy. Always think critically before communicating someone. Okay, so first draft, second draft. Okay, so maybe you can discuss with someone else, do some homework, do some explore in the YouTube, LinkedIn, other sources. Maybe you discuss with someone who can help you, your close relatives, friends, okay, your supervisors, okay, your friends. Discuss, share. Okay, I want to do this thing. So do you have? This is my draft thing. Do you have any other ideas and so on? So same thing I also do when I do something. I also discuss with my other team members. I first do the homework. I develop the skeleton, draft content, and then I discuss with my other team members, sometimes with my PhD students, sometimes with my other team members. And as a result, we make it better, we make it stronger. Okay. So learning, as you know, the learning is always important. It never will be ended. Okay, so from the day we born, the day we before we die, actually we need to learn. So this is called lifelong learning. Okay, I'm professor, I have this and that, but it does not mean I know everything, I am everything. That is wrong. We need to continuously learn. Okay, we have to have strong hunger. We have to be strongly hungry for learning. That is called lifelong learning. Okay, it is very important. Okay, by learning, actually, you can improve yourself. You can make it stronger, better. For example, today I have come out with this video. Actually, as you can see, I also have done homework. I have watched some of the videos in YouTube. As you have seen, also I have explored professional videos in LinkedIn learning courses. Okay, so basically, this critical thinking, critical questioning also, it is a continuous learning process. Okay, how to ask also question critically, how to think critically also is a learning process. Sometimes you ask question actually irrelevant. Sometimes I receive some of the messages in my inbox. I want to do research on cancer. So meaning that it is irrelevant question because I'm not doing research on cancer. Okay, sir, can you help me to get a other university position. Okay, so how can I do that? It is your responsibility. You need to do the homework because I have many other responsibilities and I am also not someone else assistant PA. Okay, so you have to understand that without doing that, sometimes you are asking those types of questions. You have to take your own responsibility. You should not get everything so easily, so much granted. Okay, not what is called the straight cut answer. Okay, ready-made things. Okay, so learning is basically very, very important. So you can learn from YouTube, you can learn from LinkedIn Learning, you can learn from online different courses. So I'm also planning to organize a seminar, online seminar or face-to-face seminar on how to improve communication skill and critical thinking skill. That will be in future with some other relevant people. But today I share my experience because I'm working in the research field. As you know, this is very important in critical thinking. So those are the things I have addressed in the research. But as you can see, this critical thinking, critical questioning, actually, it is important for each and every spheres of our life. So maybe someone experienced in that field also who are good at critical thinking, I will invite in future to give some relevant talk. So we will post also in the social media. Okay, so as you can see, our Sanoe has some uniqueness. So we invite also to explore more about our Sanoe University so that you can be enrolled, you can pursue higher studies, PhD studies, master studies, Bachelor of Engineering, and so on. Okay, so we are also have engineering program at School of Engineering and Technology, and which is also with the partnership with our Lancaster University. So by paying with the single fee, actually we'll get 2 degrees. So these are actually some of the unique things with the Sanoe University. So I would strongly suggest to explore more about the Sanoe University. Okay, so I have a lot of content in my YouTube channel, again, to serve you, to serve the scientific community based on my 25 years of experience. So around 20 videos are already uploaded in my YouTube channel. So at your convenient time, you can watch. It is a one-stop center. Many already commented that these are highly useful and also highly popular now. A lot of views are there. Many people are subscribing, giving a very strong comments, good feedback. So please go through all those, explore them. Okay, so at the same time, I think I alone cannot contribute to the scientific community. I think this is one-stop center. Just by clicking one click in share, actually may help many others. So I also analyzed in my YouTube channel. So actually some of the contents are shared extensively also by many researchers, many followers. So I thank you for your kind help to share with others. Okay, let's work collectively. Let's help others. As you know, I spend some of my quality time to help you. At the same time, I also request you to share so that you know the impact can be broader, stronger, more people can be benefited. As you know, many researchers, young researchers, or career researchers face difficulties in addressing critical thinking, in writing a good quality paper. So actually by your share, many people will be benefited, and certainly Almighty will give you the due reward. Okay, thank you very much for your time, attention. So I hope this will be useful. So please, again, please share, and may Almighty bless us all. Thank you again. Assalamu alaikum.